Today's guest has built a reputation for performances that are honest, layered, and quietly magnetic. The actor who somehow makes even the quiet characters feel dangerous. If a look could speak, his would probably have its own script. It's a pleasure to have him here to talk about the art behind his storytelling. Anthony Darvall, welcome to VertiChat with Mads.
God damn, that was great. And that's it. We end the interview there. Thank you. Bye. End on a high. That was great. That was great. Thank you. That was really lovely.
You're welcome. But no. Can we start off with you telling me a little bit about yourself?
Sure, absolutely. Would you like a biography or just some of the highlights?
Either.
Either
Go in the
either?
middle.
A little bit. Okay. Well, I started acting when I was in high school, sort of middle school, high school, and continued on intensely with that. Went to drama school straight out of high school. Wasn't interested in taking a holiday or doing schoolies or for anyone not in Australia, schoolies is a tradition where you go and you get absolutely hammered, usually on the Gold Coast because you've just turned 18 with all of your friends and you graduated high school. I didn't do that. I just stayed and looked at my audition pieces for drama school like a little nerd. Um, Anyway, I got into a drama school and was there for 3 years, and then came out, did a lot of theatre, and slowly started making my way onto screen, short films, feature films here and there. And then all of a sudden in mid 2023, these things called vertical dramas started showing up on casting sites like Star Now, and I applied for a couple of the early ones in Sydney, managed to land a few, and just built from there. And so I'm sort of sadly at the moment not doing any theatre, which depresses me just a little bit, but juggling short films, features, vertical dramas, and generally trying to stay sane, which I'm failing at.
I would have to agree. I'm on that level as well.
There we are. See, I knew we were going to get along.
It's nearly Christmas. People annoy me outside.
Oh God, yeah. Don't. I still forget it's December, and I still forget that it's nearly Christmas. I prefer not to remember, actually.
My Christmas tree is still in its box.
I don't even have a Christmas tree, which is weird because I actually really love Christmas. I just don't like the build up to it. If I could skip like the final week of November all the way to December 24th, I'd be really happy. Like December 24th, December 25th, awesome. Those 2 days, brilliant. Everything else before that can fuck right off.
I would have to agree. No, my Christmas tree is normally up before Halloween because I hate Halloween.
Not a fan of scary movies?
So many are like, oh, we got this for Halloween. And I'm like,
Sweet. Good.
and I've
Right.
had so many of them message me, Happy Halloween, or like whatever it is. And I'm like, the urge to like, not the urge to say to them, I'm Aussie. I don't celebrate Halloween is like really hard.
Mm.
I just go, you too.
Well, it was interesting this year. I had quite a few people reach out with a happy Thanksgiving, which is lovely. I'm like, happy Thanksgiving, but like, I don't know. I didn't have a turkey, so feel kind of ripped off now, to be honest. What a fucking turkey.
I just need to recompose myself.
We should leave this in. This is great. This is gold. This is like the best part of any interview I've had so far.
If people look at this, they're gonna go, what the fuck?
I don't know if I'll get hired again, but worth it. Worth it.
I don't know, I'm always curious about this. You did the Meisner workshop?
Yeah, I did. I did God, when was that? That might have been like 2012, I think. Um, yeah, it was a long time ago.
I think I dug too far then.
No, no, no. Yeah, I graduated high school in 2010, so that's a long time. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, what were you curious about with Meissner?
I'm I don't know, I'm trying to get every little like little bit of information I can on the Meisner technique because I'm interested in
What's your interest specifically in the Meissner technique?
I don't know. I have this like curiosity to like find out how everybody like creates what they do.
Right. Okay.
I know it's
Yeah.
just this weird fascination. It's really weird.
That's not weird at all, honestly. I had like a 2 hour discussion with ChatGPT around like language theology and how like religion helped develop like ideas around language that are sort of embedded in culture. So yeah, not weird at all. If anything, that's more normal than what. Anyway, um,
A
my
2 hour conversation with ChatGPT.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I get curious about things, and then it's you can't talk to Google, so you can
You
talk to
really can't.
ChatGPT. Anyway, Meissner. It's not. So when I went to drama school, I did. There was a methodology that was taught there for 3 years called Eric Morris, which I think if I'm remembering correctly is sort of like a branch off of the method with Lee Strasberg. So modern acting was developed in Russia in the late 1800s by a man called Konstantin Stanislavski. He took it over to America. He met a whole bunch of people, but the three people of note were Lee Strasberg, Stella Adler, and Sanford Meisner. Um, and so he had his ideas about acting, and they developed their ideas about acting from him. And you sort of had the method. I'm kind of like just simplifying and butchering it a little bit, so don't come after me, loyalists. The method is developed by Lee Strasberg. It has a lot of like sense memory, and it's kind of heavily emotions based. It leans into real, authentic inner world experiences. Stella Adler was very character focused. That was her basis. Was the focus is always on the character. Um, Not as familiar with her as the other two. So yeah, but then Meisner was very interested in interactions between actors, and he developed this approach called repetition, the repetition method. Everything else sprang from that, and it's a very very simple game. But I mean, it is. It's a game basically where we'll have a statement like uh, I don't know. I I'm happy today. I'm happy today. And I'll say I'm happy today, and I'll say it to you, and then you can only respond to me by saying I'm happy today as well. You can't you can't say anything else. You can't sort of the idea isn't to sort of flip the table over and say I'm happy today. It's to just respond with that, and you you just keep on saying that one phrase back and forth, and it's just about authentically responding in the moment. Um, yeah, I mean, I've been interested in all the sort of major acting methodologies, but yeah. So nerd alert here. I actually I had like another like 2 or 3 hour conversation with ChatGPT. I'd finished reading the Book of Five Rings by a samurai from the 16th century called Miyamoto Musashi. He developed this holistic approach to sword fighting with Japanese swords. He was one of the greatest duelists in Japan's history, like over 60 duels won, no losses as far as I'm aware. And he was very against specific schools and specific disciplines because they all had their own single answer um, to sword fighting. It's the footwork. The footwork is everything. Or your strikes. You should be striking only from above if you're going to lead a strike. Anyway, different. And he was very much like, you take what works from every school and you blend it in together. And I think most good actors really do that. There's a lot that have a sort of grounding in one um, tradition, but I would imagine it's rare to find an actor who specifically works strictly from one um, methodology and sticks to that and follows it to the letter. Even Stanislavski, he at the end, so he had three books, and at the end of his third book, he said, "These are just my ideas. My ideas should develop and evolve throughout the years." And so I've had a lot of fun working with acting teachers who've looked at neuroscience and looked at neurobiology and psychology, and trying to understand how we sort of um, process what's happening in front of us, and trying to use our modern understanding of how humans experience the world to influence acting. And I think that's probably been the biggest set of experiences for me. That and theater sports, which is what I started doing in high school. So that's a set of improv games where you just um, you'll you so the most famous one is called Space Jump, and there's one person who starts off in Space Jump on stage, and they're given a scenario to do. That's you're on the beach digging for buried treasure. And you just start digging for buried treasure. And then someone will call space jump, and you freeze in position, and another actor jumps in, and based on your frozen position, they have to create a brand new scenario, can't be in any way related to what you were previously doing, and run with it and create a new story. And so you can get like, I think the most I've had is maybe like 7 or 8 people on stage. And when you get to 7 or 8 people, you've had seven or eight different scenarios. You have to then go in reverse all the way back down to one. But so they'll call space jump, they'll call reverse space jump, I think. I haven't done it in so long, but anyway, reverse space jump, let's say, for sake of argument. And someone jumps, everyone freezes, and the last person who jumps in jumps out. So you do it in reverse order. And then you have to continue on the old scenario that you were doing with the 7 people, but in the brand new position that you were already in. And it just creates absolute insanity watching these actors trying to figure out what to do on stage. So I think that sort of helped me um, a fair bit as well.
How does that help? Because that sounds like chaos.
Oh, it is, but the I don't know. It's sort of I guess like acting really is just trying to kind of control a little bit of chaos for a little bit of time. And um it sounded really profound in my head, and I sounded really dumb when I said it. But but you like, especially on stage, you never know what's going to happen, and the best actors will always utilize whatever happens in front of them, even if it's someone forgetting their lines. You figure it out, and you just make it work, and on screen as well. Like I remember when I was younger and I was in a theater group, there was this adult part of the theater group, and they had this show that they were doing. It was this one scene. It was one of the most brilliant pieces of like reactive acting that I'd ever seen. It was these 2 people had a one night stand, and they were sort of like awkwardly, like it was after that, and they were just awkwardly hanging out in the hotel room together. They were in the big fluffy white robes, and they had a bottle of champagne there. The woman walks in, and the guy's trying to be all smooth, but he's super awkward, and he's like, "What do you think? Should we pop this open?" And he unwraps the champagne, and he goes to pop the cork, and the cork shoots out of the bottle, ricochets off the ceiling of the theater, and the theater's audience was sloped like that, so the ceilings were really high and ricocheted down into the audience, and like you could hear a pin drop in this room for a good 30 seconds. Like nobody could believe what happened, and he was looking at it, and he just looked over to the woman and goes, I'm sorry, it's my first time. It was like they couldn't do anything for a good minute because everyone was laughing so hard in the audience. They were just standing there. It was like SNL when they're trying not to break character. It was, yeah. Um, or Michael Caine uses a great example where he says, use the difficulty, whatever's challenging you in front of us, sometimes just utilize it. Um, so yeah, I think theatre sports prepared me in particular for that. It's just accepting whatever happens. The golden rule in improv is yes and. You never say no. No is a block. No is a block. When you say no to something or when you stop something from happening, you're stopping the story moving forward. And so you always say yes because that's allowing things to happen. And then you say yes and because the idea is you say yes and then you build on top of what they've um, uh, just offered you. So, like I said earlier, tangential.
So, like, do you do anything other than acting?
Yeah, I currently manage an MMA gym, so that's something fun.
That looked like an eye roll then, but I was like bewildered. Might just be my slow reaction from being up for nearly 48 hours.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Because I was like trying to like process what's MMA again, like mixed martial arts.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Like, that's still wild. So, like, do you like train people?
I don't train people, but I do train. So, yeah.
That's wild. I'm, I'm mind blown.
I mean, I'm not some, black belt or anything like that. I just do it for a bit of fun and add something cool to the resume. So there are like legit weapons at the gym. So yeah, I just try and stay in my little lane.
Because you do, what is it called? I don't, calisthenics? Is that how you say it?
Calisthenics, yeah, that's my main thing. That's sort of like handstand push-ups and uh, I'm trying to think of other things that would actually make sense to people who don't know what it is, but like a front lever. So it's basically like you're holding yourself, um, as opposed to like a chin up where you're just pulling yourself down like this. You're
Yeah,
holding.
you have the weight in between your legs or something.
Yeah, yeah, you can do weighted chin ups, but a front lever is where you hold yourself um, you hold yourself horizontally under the bar, so your hands are sort of like that, holding your body like that. Um, there's other things like a planche, which is basically like a push up with no legs. Yeah, so um,
How do you do a push up with no legs?
basically you lean yourself forward enough that your body creates a lever, and if you're strong enough in your shoulders, then you yeah you can just hold your body off the ground.
That is freaking cool.
Yeah. I'm not there yet with the planche. I can do the front lever, and the handstand push-ups are getting there, but yeah, the planche is that's a different animal. So yeah.
How long have you been doing that for?
Um, a while now. I got serious maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and yeah, it sort of took a little time now to just like build a base of strength. So like overhead, building up an overhead press of 60 kilos, weighted pull up of 50 kilos, which is all just it helps with uh, uh, having the relative strength. It's a sport that has such a high entry point in terms of strength. You just need to be yeah, need to be insanely strong and very light as well.
So, how long did you say you've been acting for?
It's probably, look, since I decided I wanted to be an actor and got into my first classes about 20 years, but it's since I graduated drama school, it would be 11 years, I guess.
Oh God. I was gonna ask, like, were you doing that before acting or after acting? Or like,
I was ever since I graduated drama school, I've been working out pretty consistently. I had a couple of roles earlier on that I just wanted like a degree of physicality to them, and then it just kind of stuck with me after that. So yeah, and then the calisthenics was sort of on and off for a little bit of time, and then yeah, got much more serious about it. Yeah, recently.
I don't know what to say. Like, I generally don't know what to say.
Fair enough.
I'm being really honest. Like, I have no idea what to say. This is cool, but like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's really cool. It's it's a lot cooler than people are like, oh, I can deadlift 200 kilos. It's like it's an abstract concept. It's like if you can do a push up and your legs are in the air, people immediately are like, fuck, that's cool. So yeah.
Because I genuinely want to understand like what your like background to get to how like what you are today.
Sure. Okay.
That's what I'm trying to like mentally unpack it in my brain. But it's currently not working. But no. Another one off the tracks. Advanced diploma in stage and screen acting.
Yeah. So that was just the accreditation that I got from my drama school after the 3 years. So it at the time that school wasn't university accredited. Thank God, because otherwise I'd have a lot more student debt. But it's a topic for another time. But yeah, 3 years. I got my little diploma. Never needed it. It doesn't mean anything in terms of the industry. Nobody cares if you went to drama school for 3 years. People only care if you can do it. So that's why you have like, people like Heath Ledger who just, I don't want to say walked on, but basically got on Home and Away and that was it. Like he was just off to the races. And then you have other people who don't pop off until they're in their 40s, like Morgan Freeman. It
Which is sad.
was
But
right time for him. I feel like
as
a
a
young Morgan Freeman would have been very strange.
after I said that, I was like, Morgan Freeman would look so weird young.
Yeah, yeah.
I regret saying that.
We're sorry, Morgan. If you ever
Sorry.
watch this interview, we apologize. You are probably a very handsome lad with a very distinguished voice.
Yes. On your Instagram, it says you're British Australian. Like,
Mm,
I don't
yep, sure. My mum's British, my dad's Australian, so British
like
Australian.
were you born like here or like
Born here, born here. Yeah.
I'm
Um,
sorry. I just needed to like
no, no, that's fine. I'm happy to talk about it. Yeah. My mum came here in her teens and, met my dad a few years later and, yeah, and then settled down here. But all of her family's back in England. So it's weird. I don't know. I've always felt too British for the Australians and too Australian for the British. It's very, very strange.
how.
I don't know. I don't know. It's growing up in particular. Um, to a lot of Australians, I sound British, and then to every British person I meet, I sound very Australian. So yeah, uh, that was interesting growing up. But that's fine. It made me who I am today, so that's cool. I mean, I could see how if you came in at the wrong moment in some of them, that's you could sort of find them, but it is interesting. They are definitely evolving as an art form and evolving really quickly. Um,
They're getting very sexualized very quick.
yes, true. However, I think that they're broadening out as well. You definitely have that aspect to them, and that will most likely always be there, and it will probably double down even further and further. But at the same time, they're expanding and creating new stories and slowly starting to branch out, um, which is exciting. That's I want to see more of that. I want to see them
Mm.
try new things.
Well, what genre do you want to see the most?
Um, Purely for selfish reasons, I'd like them to get to start going to some classical literature. Um, and like the Brontes or Austen or Dickens, Dangerous Liaisons, anything really. I think that would be a good bridge between sort of what they already do and do well, and one bringing in a new audience, and legitimizing it a little bit more as well, uh, and then to sort of broadening the horizons while still playing with something that they're already comfortable with. So yeah. Plus, also, I love doing that. I mean, it sounds like you've read my resume, so you must have seen all the theater credits that I've done.
I
It's
did
up,
not.
it's up there. Anyone could find it.
No, I just had a quick squeeze.
Quick squeeze.
When I said that this morning, they're like, "A quick what?" I'm like, "A quick squeeze." Like,
You heard us, Americans, a quick squeeze, and we will not explain it. Use ChatGPT.
I wonder what it comes up with when we say that. Probably think
Ask
of
it. Yeah, no, please, please. I'm curious. It will probably know. It's been trained on the entire internet, but you never know.
hey, it's true. I said, what does quick squeeze mean in Australia? A fast look, a brief check, a quick glance at something.
There we go.
See, we're not stupid.
Exactly. We just got our own lingo.
Our own lingo is an understatement. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is.
like a whole different freaking language to Australia. Like, you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
Australian and then you have
Which
Australian
is
Australian.
which is cool. Which is cool. I like that.
You have Australian and abbreviated Australian. When you're starting a new script, what's the process of developing your characters? Do you like start with physicality, voice, like backstory? Where do you start? Like your base to build a character.
Um, I'm gonna answer this. It's interesting because sometimes you get a script and you have no time for whatever reason, and you just have to walk on set and do something and hope that it goes well. Um, which is fine. Like a lot, like it happens more often than you think. I was just watching a podcast last night with Jared Harris where he was so it's Richard Harris's son. You would have seen him if you watched Chernobyl, the second Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr. He's his father was Richard Harris. He was the Dumbledore in the first two Harry Potter movies.
Love Dumbledore.
Yeah, especially Richard Harris's Dumbledore. Um, anyway, he was talking about doing a film, and he got the script, and he basically had to jump from a season of Mad Men to going straight into shooting this feature. No time to prep. He just had to go in and do it. And especially with verticals, it can sometimes be like that. You just go in and like hope for the best and hope that you're doing something that they're happy with. So going back to your original question, I'm going to answer it as if I've had all the time in the world. Um, I I start with the script first, and I read it because I read it a lot because I just want to understand it and understand the world and make sure I'm familiar enough with the story, and then I start to try and piece together what the backstory is. So if it's an original work like a lot of verticals, then um, uh, I will sort of start to make it up, or I'll ask the writers if I'm lucky enough to have access to them. Um, if it's something like one of my favorite roles that I did in theater was McMurphy in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So that was the role that Jack Nicholson played in the movie, and he there was a lot of description about his life prior to ending up in the mental institution. So one of the big things was he was Korean prisoner of war. So he was a Korean War vet, prisoner of war in a Korean war camp, and so I had to do a lot of research into that, and then started building the backstory around that. So I read I don't know, at least like 3 or 4 books on the Korean War and Korean War um, prisoner of war experiences, which was hard. Like there's not as much, it's not as well documented as World War II or the Vietnam War or any of the later wars. But basically, in my head at least, understanding breeds empathy. It's very easy to hate someone or dismiss someone if you don't understand them. The more you get to know a person, the more you realize that they're just another person and you start to relate to them. It's that famous example of there was a white supremacist, there was a black man who this was I think it was during the civil rights movement or maybe a bit before it. He went down and he personally started trying to befriend these I think they were Klan members, or they might have just been white supremacists in general. And he got a whole bunch of these people to renounce that movement because he just got to know them and introduced himself as a person and built a rapport with them. Anyway, when you start to build that empathy for yourself, you that empathy for the character, you start to understand them more. And that's what I'm trying to look for is a really innate understanding of who that person is. Um, Physicality, accent, and things like that, that all kind of comes along for the ride. Um, it's that's sort of the ideal. It's not always the case. And a lot of actors talk about how it's almost like whenever you start a new project, you're sort of almost learning acting, how to act for the first time again. Like when I did Draven in Vampire's Forbidden Kiss, I very quickly figured out that he was just a vampire supremacist and he wanted ultimate power because he wanted an ascension of his vampire species. Everything else was built out of that point of view of I am the superior and I'm the top vampire at the moment. So I am the superior being of superior beings. He's the ultimate predator. And so I started to shape my understanding of who that was based off that point of view. The voice came out of that, the movement, the eye work that I did. My inspiration from Hannibal Lecter, it all came from that. So but I think understanding is the most important thing, and then being as present as I can in the room. So ideally, if I can know my lines back to front, forwards and backwards, then I can have the freedom to just play around on set. I know that I will react in a way that's appropriate to the character, but I won't limit myself. And something I've started to try and do more and more of. And I was already doing this, but even consciously now, very recently, it's just not being afraid to try anything, not be afraid to just follow an impulse. Doesn't matter if it's wrong. I just want to see where that will lead me, and occasionally it will, and it's like, what the fuck was that? But you know, um, you know, your impulses will always lead you wrong, but they're the only thing that also ever led you right. So yeah, it's sort of that, to give you a very long-winded answer.
I like long-winded answers. Like, I'd rather have someone explain it like that rather than, you know, feather foot over it and then me not understanding it.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Well, I think I can't remember. This might be like this might be wrong. Have you heard of? It might be. It's either the Churchill attribution theory or the Einstein attribution theory. But it's like as time progresses, more and more quotes get attributed to either Einstein or Churchill. I think so. Anyway, I think this quote was Einstein, but he was like, if you can explain a complicated idea to a 6-year-old and have them understand it, then you understand it. And to me, that was always intelligence. So not expounding for the sake of expounding, but yeah, being able to communicate your ideas effectively.
Well, like I'm a teacher's aide, so I have to put everything in layman's terms.
There you go.
So like for once I want someone to do it for me. How do you find common ground with a character that is very different from the real you?
I think again, it all comes back to understanding. So, like, I mean, I guess I'm trying to think of where I want to go with this. Um, the most evil person in the world is still a person at the end of the day. And we all have the capacity to either be Mother Teresa or to be Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin. Like, take your pick. There's like we're not better or worse than either of them. We're all just people. And so you have to frame that in your mind, um, very first. And then it's just about understanding why they're doing it. So again, for me, it just comes back to understanding, even if I don't agree with it. If you understand why someone is doing something, even if you completely disagree with it, you can at least play that then, because at the end of the day, it's just play. Like we take the costume off at the end of the day. It's like a magic trick. So I don't agree with the whole sort of like taking the character home and feeling it, and I have done that. I'm not saying I'm better, but just throughout the years, I just like you don't need to carry that shit with you. Um, but yeah, it all comes back to just understanding why a person's doing something and then operating from there, same as any other character. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up the award that you got the other day.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, it was really lovely to see that award. Yeah, it was one of the characters in the vertical space that I felt the most creatively satisfied with. Um, and so yeah, I felt very lucky to be awarded for that one.
Did you know you were getting it?
Yeah, ahead of time. I didn't know that I would have to do a speech though. I only found out that when other people started being asked to do speeches. So that's why it was super awkward and kind of quick on camera. But yeah, I only found out like 2 or 3 days beforehand though.
I didn't even know we had like those award systems here.
It was the first one.
I would have loved to have been there.
Well, yeah, it was again like super last minute. Hopefully they'll have more. I'm sure they will.
I'll come for a day trip down there and give a kip.
Please, please come down. That'll be great. You can start doing Instagram lives, interview people. Yeah, it's great, dude. That's what people do at the red carpet. They got their phone out. They're just on Instagram live, and I'm here with so and so from the project that had a guy and he did a thing.
I so should. I didn't look too much into Glass Cannon.
Oh, okay. Glass cannon. Yeah, well, it's sort of, I don't know whether it's officially out yet. It might still be doing the festival circuit. Um, but it's a very cool short film. So it's set around esports. So for those of you who don't know, and I didn't know this as well going into the project, esports are like competitive video games, right?
Oh, esports. Like,
Esports,
okay,
yeah.
yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. You're all good. You're all good. Yeah. So this was Counter Strike was the particular competitive field. And this guy Wilkins Ho, who I've worked with twice now, Abrupt Chaos and then Glass Cannon, is a brilliant writer director. I think he's working on. He said he's working on something else. I think it's supposed to be a call. But yeah, absolutely incredible. And this script, so basically what he did is he created what's called a proof of concept. So it's he had an idea for a feature film. He didn't have enough money to go and shoot the whole thing. So he over a week maybe shot I think it was like the first 20 pages of the the film, which is it's sort of its own isolated little story in a way, even though it continues the larger narrative after that, and created this short film. And I was lucky enough to, I think I was one of the first actors that he reached out to after I collaborated with him on uh, Abrupt Chaos, his first short film. Um, which was very lucky. I knew nothing about esports before he messaged me. He messaged me and he was like, "Hey, dude, like I've got this project, I've got this character in mind for you. Just like have a read of the script and let me know what you think. It's about esports, and I'd really love to have you." And I was like, "Dude, I don't understand this at all. Like I don't watch like streamers for the most. I've never watched a stream of a video game. I've never seen the point. But I think that might just be because I have the soul of a grumpy old man. Um,
No, that can't be true.
it's it's a little true. But technology and kids these days.
Oh, don't even get me
Um,
started. Don't you dare get me started on technology, babies. I will be ranting.
there we go. See,
We
maybe you have the soul of a grumpy old man too.
could be grubby together.
We could. It'd be great. You know, we could like throw rakes at kids as they pass by on a, get on that lawn. Um, uh, anyway, so yeah, he invited me out for coffee, and he brought his computer down and he showed me some like test footage because the way it works is it's um, the short film is this little self-contained narrative about this team of amateur competitors at a local esports event. And so he actually compiled footage from like within Counter Strike. So it's sort of like if you've what it the script itself was brilliant because it was written like a classic sports drama, you know, like uh, I don't know, Remember the Titans or any of those great sports drama movies, right? Um, except it was about esports. So the structure of the film is instantly recognizable to anyone who's a fan of story or of sports movies. But it's about esports, and so he was able to, I don't know how, create footage in game of Counter Strike, and so you'd be watching the players like tap away at the keys, and then the screen would flip, and you'd see you know, in game what they're doing, and that's like it was all pre-recorded by him. And then you have me sometimes full screen, sometimes in the corner of the screen, the way streamers do,
Yeah.
talking about the game as it's happening. So I was my character was called Cameron. I forget his last name. Cameron D Saw. So D/Saw was his what do they call them, like gamer name or username or whatever. And
Gamer tag.
gamer tag, that's it. Um, but it was so cool the way he managed to like make everything work, but then also make it flow in the way that it was just an engaging story as
Hmm.
well. So yeah, Abrupt Chaos. Really, really cool little short film that I was lucky enough to be part of. I hope he makes the feature.
I'm just writing it down.
Did you? Yeah. While you're looking, I can't remember why I thought of this, but did you want to hear a cool little acting story from my old theatre days?
Yes, please.
Sure. So one of my first theatre roles was Mercutio in Romeo and Juliet, um, and actually I should find some photos to post of that because that was so long ago. That was 2011. I did that.
I was only 11.
God damn. Um, anyway, um, making me feel old.
I'm a 2000s baby.
Um, so you are the 2000 baby. Anyway, um, so the way that we did it was this is actually lovely. So I had just graduated high school the previous year, but the guy who was directing this student production at my old so in on the northern beaches we had a girls' school and a boys' school, and they would do theatre productions together. And the drama teacher at the girls' school also was an amateur theatre director, and he was doing Romeo and Juliet. It's one of his favorite Shakespeare plays, and he couldn't find someone for Mercutio. And I had just graduated, but I made a lot of friends when we did Oliver the year before, the musical. And so a lot of the cast members from Oliver were also in Romeo and Juliet, and they were like, the director was freaking out because he was like, I'm going to have to cancel the play. And the main cast members all went, this may be a little weird, but we've got this guy, he's just gone to drama school. He might come back and play Mercutio. And so I got a phone call, like, a month before I'm about to start drama school, being like, hey, like, I know this is a little weird, but would you come back and do this one more show with us? And so I did. It was nice. Mercutio had always wanted to play him, and getting invited back like that. Anyway, so we went in, and it was done outside in this huge basketball court. So we had two rows of seating. We had a Capulet side and a Montague side, and of the audience. So you could pick which side you want to sit on. And then everything happened in the middle, right? We had these big stairs that would happen in the middle, and then the balcony scene was at one end. We actually had these huge balconies at one end of the courtyard that we were in, and so the balcony scene happened there, which was great. The reason it was great is Romeo can't climb up the balcony. Reason why most productions, I don't know why most productions do this, because it's meant to be the fact that they're separated from each other for almost all the time that they are in love with each other, and they finally get together for one night, and then all the other shit happens and they die. So he was not able to climb up. And anyway, we obviously had a lot of sword fighting. It was a big student production. There were a lot of kids involved, and the main guys, we all had 6 months to prepare these sword fights together. I had done 4 years of fencing experience, so I was helping the director with choreographing the fight scenes and whatnot. It was really cool, like a lot of fun. The guy who played Tybalt, he was an incredibly athletic young guy, footballer, so really big dude. And like we had a very long fight scene. Like I pulled out another guy's sword at one point, was fighting Tybalt with two swords. It was awesome. The night of the first performance, it rained out, and we couldn't use the courtyard, and we hadn't practiced for the idea that we might need to go into the theater, which was next door, which was a smaller venue. So we get there, we're doing the fight. I'm doing my big fight with Tybalt and Mercutio, and we're getting to the final point of the fight, the final few blows before he lands the killing strike, and then I, plague on both your houses, do my big death scene, and then I lay there for the rest of the act.
I like how casually you just talk about death.
Well, just wait. The space was significantly smaller than the courtyard. We used the whole courtyard because we had so much space. It's like we might as well use it. So we get in there, and we're having to adjust on the fly, and we're making it work, and it's coming off really well. We get to the final bit of the fight, and it's on the stairs. So I'm up here, and I'm fighting downwards with him, and like it must have been a change of the angle, something, a little slip, and his sword goes right there. Now I fell backwards and went, ah, and then just kept on going with the few moves that we had. Did my big death scene, lay there on the ground, and I'm lying there with liquid pouring out of this eye, and I'm just going, just get me off the stage, just get me off the stage, just get me off the stage. And the girl that we had playing the prince was taking forever with her goddamn monologue. I swear to God, for whatever reason, she was milking it that night. And so I'm lying there being like, oh, okay, that's just the juice from my eyeball just falling out of my eye. It's fine, whatever. I only needed one eye. And I get off stage. And the only people who realized that something went wrong were myself, obviously, the guy playing Tybalt, and the director. Nobody else had realized that anything had gone wrong. I get off stage, and Tybalt's looking at me, and he's like, "Oh, dude, okay, like you're okay." And the director comes down, he's like, "You okay?" And it turns out like it had just like nicked me basically, and I had a black eye for the rest of the show, which worked great for Mercutio, but
Like you in general as a person, like I would have got up and like gone.
I don't know why I didn't. I've had other experiences like that as well, but that was my first one like that. Yeah.
Like my,
So
what in your fight or flight mode? Did you just like
I don't know. I don't know why I didn't panic. It wasn't. I had another moment very similar on stage where I had a very clear um moment of like, oh shit, and then like the show must go on for various reasons. I can get into that, but that's a different story. Um, so yeah, it was just sort of like we'd been rehearsing for so long. It was automatic. I fell back, and I just continued with the scene because that's what the next thing that I was supposed to do. And then I kept on going. I was like, I don't want people to freak out. I think I only really like it was when I was lying there and I was dead on stage that I was like, oh, there's liquid pouring out of my eye. It turned out it was tears, by the way. So I was crying.
is me making a big deal? No.
Luckily that night I'd already been dead, so I didn't need to. Yeah,
Good Lord.
yeah.
You had me going. For no damn
Uh,
reason there.
so that was one of my favorite little acting stories. Oh yeah, that's why that came up. We were talking about the storm, and it's like you have a story, and then I was like, oh, I've got stories. So many stories.
What does authenticity mean to you in a performance?
Okay. What does authenticity mean to me? Such a specific question. I want to make sure that I answer it well. I think it comes down to when you're in the room with someone and you're actually engaged with them. You don't, and you're engaged with your surroundings as well. There's this that's very hard in a self-tape environment to so I'm not sure if you know what a self-tape is. Okay. All right. Sure, you've done 30 interviews, but I do like to check. Um, so a self-tape is inherently an artificial environment, or a self-tape studio or whatever. It's an inherently artificial environment, and so you're trying to create authenticity out of nothing. Like you got someone who's like head is in their paper that you're trying to act to, but Yeah, I think it to me it means being really present in the scene and responsive to all the other stimulus around you. So not just the actors, but the environment, the even technically in terms of being aware of where the camera is so that you can angle your body in the right way, or you can adjust your head so that or even if you're uh, I had a scene with an actress not long ago, and she's trying it was really really dark. We were in a tunnel, and she was trying to get away from my character, and in order to do that, she's pulling away and whatnot, but she's also pulling herself out of her light, which is good because she should be doing that. She should be, but I was always pulling her back and making sure that I was lining her up in her light so that the camera could catch as much of her as possible for cutaways and whatnot. Um, I think I think authenticity, yeah, just comes down to that. And then if you can actually understand your character as well, it creates an additional layer of authenticity where you are approaching the story from the point of view of the character and actively engaging with the world around you. I hope that makes sense. It's a very it's a tougher question to answer than I thought it would be.
I'll quickly zoom through these. Favorite animal?
Jaguar,
Cat person or dog person?
both.
Favorite food?
That's a tough one. My favorite cuisines are Thai, Mexican, and Korean.
It's the first time I think I've heard Korean in there.
Korean is great. So good. Kimchi, beef bulgogi, Korean barbecue. How can you beat it?
I have heard Korean barbecue. Favorite color?
Green.
Wait, what did you say?
Green.
Same! Twinsies!
Twinsies. All right. If we do catch up, we got to wear something green then. That's the deal.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Be green. Dream country to visit.
Um, so to revisit Japan, to to go somewhere new, Spain.
Spain.
Hmm,
I was gonna talk, but nope. I can't. I can't. I don't have time to. I don't have time to talk.
fair enough. Save it for part two. Make a note. Save
Yes.
it for
Yeah.
part two.
Mm. Talk about Spain.
Excellent. Your wall must be just like little cork boards that have got strings that go everywhere.
No, 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 no. I've got notepads.
Oh God.
Favorite season?
Winter.
Thank God, another Aussie appreciates the winter.
Yeah.
Drives me mad. Summer drives me mad. Can't do
That's
it.
why I think I'm more British than Australian, Don't mind like love British comedy. Like it's just anyway, we're getting sidetracked again.
Again. Oh, this is so hard not to. Favorite actor?
The actor that got me started and the reason that I'm in this business, Johnny Depp. My current favorite actor, Daniel Day-Lewis.
You're the first person who's mentioned Johnny Depp.
That's a crime. That's a crime.
Favorite movie?
The Lord of the Rings. The whole thing. And the reason that I say that is the book is one book. It's not three books, it's one book. So I get to count that trilogy as one movie.
No. Okay. I was going to talk on that, but I'm just going to say I'm a Harry Potter person.
Harry Potter is great. Harry Potter is great. There would be no
That's
Harry Potter
phenomenal.
without Lord of the Rings.
We will have this discussion next time.
Please, please. I'm open to it. I'm open to it. Note that down.
Lord of the Rings. Favorite music genre?
Um, I'm currently caught between Irish music and Spanish guitar.
Wide variety. Favorite singer and song?
Uh, at the moment, it's Ryan Bingham, and the song is Wolves.
Ryan who?
Ryan Bingham. So he's a country music star, I guess. He is also an actor. He was in Yellowstone. He was in that Jeff Bridges movie that he won the Oscar for. I forget what it's called. He's done a few other things, and yeah, big country music star. It's got a great song called Wolves.
You're right. I'm gonna go check that out.
Check it out.
Hmm.
Check out Ryan Bingham, Wolves, and the Weary Kind. Those are the two songs that I like magpie songs from people. I've never found a singer-songwriter that I've probably got more than 10 songs from. And I'm like,
Well, that's like I like the Australian country singer Morgan Evans. Exactly. City life or country life?
city life. No, country life. Country life.
Come out here then.
I can't. There's no work out there.
True, true, true. Hmm. Biggest pet peeve?
A lot of ones that I'm like inappropriate or just weird.
Just saying.
All right. When you fucking go into the men's bathroom and everything is covered in piss.
Had that one before.
Oh, all right, there you go. Yeah, I don't know if those are my biggest pet peeves. It's like, like being cut off in traffic, I'd say would be a bigger pet peeve.
Name three things you can't live without,
Um,
other than the
acting,
obvious essentials.
acting, calisthenics, and my friends and family.
What was the first one? I was talking. Sorry.
Acting, you're all good.
So acting, calisthenics, and family.
Friends and family, yeah,
Friends and family.
yeah.
Last one. This one, it was worded one way when I first started doing interviews. Now it's worded three different ways.
Oh, okay, all right.
So describe yourself in 5 words or less, in one sentence, or as a quote. So you can choose how to describe yourself. One sentence, 5 words, or whatever, or a quote.
Sincere, not serious.
That's a, yeah, it is true. You can be serious, but like, I don't know, we've just been goofy this whole time.
We have been. I the reason I say that, I could have said, someone else asked me this, a friend, it wasn't in an interview, and I said Renaissance man child because I like reading Nietzsche. And I also like dick jokes. So, but um, it was, I thought of sincere, not serious. I forget who it was, but it was someone who was talking about the difference between seriousness versus sincerity, and that they didn't want to be perceived as a serious actor because acting is such a we're just playing make believe and pretend, but you want to be sincere in the pretend, in the make believe. It's you want to be completely sincere, but you don't ever want to be so serious that you lose the fun of it. So yeah,
What a day. But no,
what a day. Oh my God. This was a journey. We survived storms, survived you almost getting blown away. It's been epic. I'll understand, but I'll be a little bit disappointed if you do cut out the whole storm sequence. Although I feel like there might be a few points that you have to trim.
no, I pressed pause on the recording
Oh,
when
that's
when I went
right.
too
Yeah.
long.
So in the middle of the recording, a storm hit and basically almost blew Mad's house away, everyone. And so she's like, "Guys, got to pause it to me," and goes outside and starts taking down, like anything valuable from the outside, just to make sure it doesn't disappear into the Australian summer storm winds.
You're gonna get that storm soon.
I know I'm going to get that storm soon. Luckily, I don't have anything outside that I need to worry about getting blown away.
Ha ha.
Ha ha ha. Hardy har har har.
Hardy, hardy, hardy. So I need to go. But thank you so, so much.
No, thank you. This has been absolutely wonderful. I don't know what you were nervous about. You were great.
Because my energy is too much for people.
No, dude, it's awesome. Your energy is the exact right amount for you. It's great.